We were simply setting up for Jennifer's annual clutter control garage sale when this Polaris Ranger shut itself off and was spewing coolant everywhere all over the driveway. The question now is, was this something simple or perhaps the start of something major with the engine in our Polaris Ranger? It has become an annual tradition that Jennifer has a clutter control garage sale where she's got multiple families worth of stuff and has a big sale in our big pole building. Well, each year we get a lot of people, and that means they have to park somewhere. They park all through our driveway. They've even parked out on the major highway in the past, which the state police do not like, by the way. But during this season, when it's kind of wet right here, I always put stakes and flags and markers along here so that people don't drive in that wet area where they have in the past gotten stuck, or park in this area. So in the process of doing that, we've got all of these stakes and ribbons and flags that we've saved up over the years that we put up here to keep people from parking in this area. And we always use either the golf cart or the Polaris Ranger to bring all the stakes and the hammer and all the flags and everything, to put all that up the several days before this massive garage sale. Well, just in that same tradition, we had the Polaris Ranger out here doing that. When we had the issue, it was parked in place but idling. The engine, I heard it kind of rev up and I thought, that's kind of weird. And then I heard the fan kick on and I thought, well, that's normal because it's sitting still. There's not any airflow. It has turned the fan on for the radiator to pull some cool air through there. It was a warm day in the 80s and I thought that's all normal. Until the point where it shut off. I looked back at it as I was working. Coolant was spraying all over the place. I came in here to take a look at the gauge. It doesn't say it now, but the gauge said hot right across the gauge here, and the engine was not running. Now you can see ever since that time, we've had the flashing wrench on our display. We were sitting right about here in the driveway, and this might be the little puddle of coolant that we lost. It was actually a pretty decent amount. I came here and there was antifreeze spraying out this front grille, dripping down underneath. I unlatched the hood and opened it and immediately saw that the reservoir bottle has this tiny little hole in it. Antifreeze coolant was spraying up out of that like a geyser, and I could see green coolant flowing here. Since the side-by-side was clearly overheated, I removed the rear seat. Ours is a Crew Polaris Ranger 500 EFI Crew. So in ours, the engine's underneath the rear seat. Took off the seat and immediately could feel how hot the engine was. A lot of heat coming from that. But when I felt the radiator hose, this hose goes to and from the radiator. There's one here and one down below. It was hot. I came back up here to the radiator, felt the upper hose here and the lower hose here. Both were hot, which indicated to me that the water pump was working and coolant was flowing from the engine to the radiator. What was strange though was that the radiator itself didn't feel hot. Now I didn't take the cap off, and you should never take the cap off a radiator when it's hot. That hot fluid can spray out at you and you can get burnt. I also checked to make sure the radiator fins weren't clogged with any pollen or mud or anything. The radiator is completely clean just as it is right now. So common causes of overheating would be that maybe the radiator's clogged or the fan's not working. We knew the fan was working because it was kicked on at the time. But the thing that scared me the most was when I reached down here and took out the dipstick, the oil dipstick, I saw white foam at the top. Now there's a little bit of white foam there now. I have wiped it off from that initial incident, but you can still see there is some white foam there. Now a lesson I learned as a teenager with my 1986 Chevy Blazer was that when the temperature of the engine goes up and you see foam, when you take the cap off of the oil fill, that can mean a head gasket issue. And I have gone through that with vehicles in the past. So I immediately went in my mind, worst case scenario, we've blown a head gasket here on our Polaris Ranger. But Now I'm not so sure, and leave a comment down below if you've got a Polaris Ranger or if you've had a UTV or other type vehicle who had this issue, because I'm still not exactly sure what the cause is. We're going to talk through today some of the things we're going to do to test and to try to prevent this from happening in the future. But to date, I am not 100% sure what caused it. Now, according to the forums and Google and ChatGPT, there are a couple possible issues. Head gasket is actually one of them. Another one is the radiator cap itself. Perhaps the spring isn't working right and fluid's not flowing through there the way it should be. Another possible thing is the water pump. Maybe it's not pumping the coolant from the engine up here to the radiator and back. Another possible issue is bad oil. The engine's overheating because the oil isn't doing a great job lubricating those internal components of the engine. Another possibility is low coolant. Now, we do have a reservoir here. At the time, this was spewing coolant up out of it, so it was not low when I first was experiencing the issue. But after letting the UTV cool down overnight, when I took the cap off the radiator, we were down about half and there was nothing in the reservoir. So the question is, were we low on coolant to begin with? Did we lose just that much coolant during the overheat experience? Or are we losing coolant through the head gasket and into the oil? We're gonna find that out today when we do the oil change. If you haven't already, this is a great point in the video to click that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. And if you haven't checked out purplecollarlife.com recently, that's our website. When you go to the website, a little pop-up window will come on. If you could please enter your email address into that. We are accumulating email addresses to start a newsletter. So again, purplecollarlife.com, enter your email address, and we'll keep you posted on updates via a newsletter in the future. Now, the first thing I want to do to diagnose this is examine the oil. We're going to see if we have way too much oil and if we can tell that there's coolant in the oil. That would give us the indication that it likely is the head gasket. And it's actually overdue for an oil change anyway, so great time to change the oil. I'm going to tip the bed up just to give us a little bit better visibility. But the oil change in a Polaris Ranger is actually super easy. Right there is the oil reservoir. Today we are just going to change the oil in that reservoir. We're not going to drain the tiny bit of oil that's in the crankcase and worry about that little screen filter that's in the hose. We're just going to get some fresh oil in the reservoir. Mainly we want to take a look at that oil that comes out and see what it looks like. I'm going to use a 9/16" wrench. Hopefully. Oh man, that is on there tight. There we go. That was a little crazy how tight that was. Now this drain plug will have on it a magnet, so we will see not only the condition of the oil as it comes out, but also if there's any metal debris on the magnet on this drain plug. Well, that was already a bad sign. I saw a lot of water or antifreeze come out right off the bat. And we've got a lot of white on that drain plug. All right, leave your comments down below, but in my mind, that is not a good sign. What we saw come out at the very start of draining that oil, and then how this drain plug looks. You can see some oil that hit the cement there is more some liquid other than oil than actual oil. We're still dripping out of the reservoir here. The good news is there doesn't seem to be any little metal on the magnet, but there is definitely a lot of white that isn't just oil. Okay, now I'm going to show you another thing we're going to do to help us possibly tell us if it's a head gasket issue. The oil pan that I drained the oil into was completely empty when I started. This oil jug is completely empty. We're gonna pour the oil from that oil drain pan into this jug. If we have more than 2 quarts, that means there was some extra fluid that was added to that oil, and it's probably antifreeze. Keep your eye right here as we fill. This is the 2 quart mark. If we get above that mark, that's not good. How we do? Oh yeah. You can see in the pan there all that white. That is not a good sign. So now I find myself in a little bit of a conundrum. I bought the oil change kit with the new oil and new filter to put in the Polaris Ranger. I bought a new spark plug, but if we're thinking, and leave your comments down below if you're with me and you're leaning towards head gasket issue, it ended up we had about a half a quart extra fluid. As I looked at the side of that bottle, we were at 2.5 quarts. This engine should have about 2 quarts in it. So we were about a half a quart too much. And again, that's not draining out the crankcase, so maybe a little bit more than half a quart too much. If I put all this brand new fluid and filter on, it's just going to have to be taken off again once the head gasket gets replaced, which is beyond my skill set. I'm going to have to find a shop that will do that. So in my mind, I'm thinking, this is $55. I got it on Amazon. It's a really good deal, really good set of stuff. I'll put the link down below. But is it worth putting $50 worth of new fluid in there, a new filter, when it's just going to have to come off? I don't have any other 5W40 oil that was cheaper to just put in there. So no, I'm leaning towards, and leave your comment down below, if you were in my situation right now, would you essentially waste brand new oil and a filter doing this? Even just considering all I'm going to do is drive it onto a trailer at some point, unload it from a trailer down at the shop, and have them hopefully do the head gasket. Also, I'm not sure how much it costs for a head gasket job on a 500cc ATV or UTV engine. If you've had that work done, leave a comment down below and give me some idea. Are we talking $500? Are we talking $2,000? I have no idea. Okay, call me a cheapskate. Leave a comment down below. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I've got some old 5W30 Quaker State. Don't really use this in anything anymore, just to top something off, like on the mower or something if I find them a little bit low, especially on some older equipment. I'm going to take 2 quarts of this, put it in my UTV. This thing will not see a mile of drive time before it's to the shop. So I think just get some fluid in there, let it run that fluid, ruin that fluid until it gets to the shop and gets looked at, and then we'll have that Polaris oil change kit for the future. I'll put a link down below to this 1 quart pour jug. I use it all the time. If you watch the channel, you've seen it on all my oil changes. Super handy. Leave a comment if you think I've just jumped to the worst case scenario conclusion here. We're not going to rule out other things. It's possible that we were just low on antifreeze in the first place. It's possible that there was just condensation that mixed with that oil and added to the fluid level over time. We're going to check the air filter. It's possible not enough air was getting in and it was overheating because of that. Take the cap off. Take the filter out. That thing still looks like it's brand new. Okay, I'm going to give the oil dipstick a good wipe here. Full is that line right there. So let's get this all wiped off. To check the oil in the Polaris Ranger, you do screw that dipstick down in until it's seated. And we look like we are just a hair over that full level. Remember, we didn't actually drain the whole crankcase, and I did put a full 2 quarts in. We just drained the reservoir. I wanted to add a note here. This thing did sit outside in some heavy snow and rain over the last year. since that oil was changed. So it is possible, and leave a comment, is there a way for that outside rain and snow to find its way into the oil? I'm not sure that's possible, but maybe. Let's put the seat back on here. We'll start it up and see how it runs. In case you've never done it, I'm going to show you how to reset that maintenance interval. Put the transmission into neutral, which on ours is 2 clicks up. While holding in the yellow button, turn the key on just to the on position. You'll see it shows you the version, showing us voltage. We're going to press through this yellow button now until we see what we're looking for, which is the maintenance interval. Right there, I have it set for every 50 hours. If you wanted to change that, you would simply hold this button in for a few seconds till the light starts flashing. Then it'll start at 0. You click this button repeatedly up to the number of hours. We set it at 50. Once you have it set, stop clicking for a few seconds. The wrench will stop flashing and your maintenance interval is now set to the number of hours you've selected. Now let's see if resetting the maintenance interval eliminated our wrench light or if it still comes back on. No wrench light. So it is possible the wrench light was unrelated to the overheat and it was actually just time, happened to be just time for an oil change. Maybe we had reached that 50-hour interval. When I went into there to reset it, it was down to 0, which means we had gone 50 hours before doing that oil change. Again, I'm not gonna leave this oil in here a long time, but I may run this for a little bit and see, do we lose some antifreeze, some coolant, and do we gain some oil level? That would be an indicator to me that it is in fact a head gasket issue that we need to get taken care of professionally. If I run this a tiny little bit and I see we're not losing any antifreeze and we haven't gained any fluid in the oil, then I'd probably drain that 5W30 oil out, put the real Polaris oil in, the 5W50, change the filter, and then run it and see if we have the issue after that. Make sure you leave a comment down below. This was not the way I thought this video was gonna go. I had that oil change kit to do a service on this because I knew it was just about time. Then we had that overheat issue, so I appreciate the comments down below if you've had an experience like this before and what your thoughts are after looking at the evidence. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again the next time. If you heard that little click at first when we were trying to start, remember we just replaced the ignition switch and I've determined that our battery is low. So we have a new battery coming. I'm gonna show you why I chose that battery and the difference between it and this one in a future video. If you like content like this, make sure you've clicked that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. I know a lot of people that watch the channel are not actually subscribed. We'd love it if you take a second. It doesn't cost anything. Just hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it so you get notified when we put out videos. Yet another mess on the garage floor.
Overheated.